And
Hello, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Battle Pirates Grip. We're going to be dealing with the new FM prizes and what the hell is going on with the skirmish cycle. We have a rowdy crew tonight, rowdier than normal, which is it can be good, can be bad. I might, take several weeks of counseling to get over this, but so it's all good.
It's all right. Nobody's going to steal your beer, mate. It's fine.
We could just assign you a gender, and then you don't have to go to counseling.
We can drop some of Mike's.
Gender assignment is not one of my issues, but
if you're lucky, somebody might even send you beer.
Ooh.
Well, with the hurricane coming down on me, there's a potential that sending me beer might be a good thing.
You're gonna need some.
Yeah. So let's
send it with a drone.
Left to right on your TV screen. It's Yerf. Okay, Yerf already talked.
I do apologize. Sorry, I'm drinking beer and eating pate on toast.
All right, and it's Magic Mike.
Hi, everybody.
Oh my goodness, that seems a little bit different than what you normally are.
Did he say hi?
He says I'm hi, everybody. Yeah,
that's what I said.
I thought he said it. He said I'm hi, everybody.
I did. That's exactly.
That's what he said. Everybody. But
he did mention Xanax.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, Earth's got to stop eating that cat food on a cracker or whatever the hell he's doing.
Pate.
And Father George.
I heard he's a dick.
Yeah.
You're correct.
I heard things.
Depends on what Facebook page you go on and whatnot. And then Dr.
Just
God.
a little bit.
Hello.
Yeah. Hey. And Cannon Fodder.
Good evening.
Hey there.
And Padre Prince.
Oh, hello everyone. Sorry, I was just finishing my Chianti with some fava beans.
Yeah, he forgot. He really forgot who he was because he was hitting the bong, is what it was.
Favas are pretty good.
Yeah, you got to peel Chianti beans. It's a whole different thing.
Pass over the good stuff.
You're not going to get that flavored vape for much longer. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, and this is Hefe, and we're going to talk about a little bit about the past raid, but I think it's more interesting to see what's going on with the new FM prizes.
Are you sure you're Hefe? I heard you. I heard you were the devil. So I'm just checking.
Yeah. They think I'm the devil, but as far as
it's gonna be a good one.
We're gonna try and figure this thing out. As far as we got a new armor in the FM cycle. That's gonna change things slightly. And question everybody else is what's going on with the skirmish cycle. And so we're gonna talk about that a little bit. And that should be fun because George and Ren and some other people have, figured out some things that aren't in the blueprints associated with this. And it's I just wish it was in the blueprint so everybody could see it. But
I am working on that. I was working on that until the regime change. And we actually, some of the older stuff is stuff I had figured out. Some of the new one is because a particular guy named Hefe asked a question, so I went digging and actually got the information. So that's how that came about. Hefe's a curious little bastard.
Yeah, that Hefe's such a bastard. Causes so
I know,
much
man. It makes me work all the damn time.
I know.
I've heard things.
Yeah. Stories and whatnot. I'm gonna put Mike on present, and Mike, can you present the slides and we can move forward?
Don't forget to shut off the midget porn.
Did I got it? I'm good.
Okay.
That's only on our alliance page. I'm sorry.
It's
not for general view.
Yeah, I just shut that down.
I don't even know it. FA's junk, best junk. I'm not even sure what that means, but we're gonna move on. You know, especially considering it came from somebody named David. So we're gonna move on from that whole thing and go to the next slide.
Okay.
Mike.
Wait, we're fancy enough to have slides? Holy
We
shit!
got slides, man.
All right.
We have
Hyper 30 installation is not applying splash damage reduction to ships, and the assumption is that they fix this. And this is pretty cool that it's done, but why wasn't it done from the beginning? I guess is the bigger question.
Yeah, especially when various people may or may not have put it on their ships for the raid, and it made no difference whatsoever.
Okay, and
Which is kind of a bit shit that they do it after the raid. Really.
Dude, I mean, I was testing it when the FM changed, when we got the dragons and stuff when it first came out. I mean, it was not even just that. Anything except for war plating. That's the only one that splash damage reduction actually worked. So I don't know. Next on the list is going to get generic turret accuracy working. That would be nice.
yeah, post-combat model is not displaying on the world map after defeating certain targets. Whatever. Unless somebody knows something about this, we shouldn't talk about this. This is
so. After, you know, the screen that pops up and says that you've completed the target, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
That's not popping up on some targets. That's all. That's all that means.
With targets.
Could they make it not pop up on all targets?
That could be a good
I would
Honestly,
love that.
It's
yeah.
just frustrating, and it provides a nice opportunity for someone to snag your shit when you come out of a target if you're not quick enough. So
Fully agreed.
next week's low-hanging fruit. Sorry.
Yes. Free
Please
repair
note that we've added extra snag tactics to the world map. That's how it should read.
Mm-hmm. And the third one is free instant repair from the map of a fleet that is docked charging 1 gold.
That happened to me a couple of times.
Oh, I'm
Bastard.
Yeah.
Oh, can you explain it?
Yeah,
Mike?
if you have
So if you had a fleet that had only taken 4 minutes damage, had 500% cargo, and you sent it back to your dock in order to bank the cargo, if you tried to repair it on the map, it'd charge you 1 gold, even though it's only 4 minutes damage.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
Yeah, but you know, there's another part to that bug that I discovered this raid. If you say you got an hour's damage on your fleet and you send it back in your base and you're letting it slow repair, right? And you go to, and when it gets down to 5 minutes, you go to instant repair and launch it back out, and you're out on the map, you go to launch it back out. It will charge you for that full hour.
Okay.
Even though it repaired 55 minutes in your dock, and you still get charged if you try and repair it on the map for a full hour.
See, I've never seen that, but I have seen the fact that if you send it back and you've got 4 minutes damage, and then
yes,
yeah,
even if you don't send it back.
well, yeah.
Crew icon
Well, no,
missing.
that's not true. I'm sorry, I take that back.
Okay. Crew icon missing in Fleet Manager tooltip.
I don't even know what that means. So I don't really care.
Yeah. So many of these are like, they need to add like an extra little bit of flavor, explanation to them.
I'm assuming when you
actually no,
like
that
scroll
one,
over your fleet, that means that you won't see what crew
if
you've got on it.
If you're on the map and you hover over your fleet on the right hand side, it wasn't showing the crew.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm going in and out. I'm sorry.
Okay. Let's move on, Mike. Let's go to the next one.
Okay.
All right. Change loot box mechanics. And Mike, this is point,
Yeah, so you have to take me off of share or.
No. We're keeping you on share because
Just
what we
click
want
the
to
other
do
Well, I
tab.
mean, I
is
got to get to my. Hold on a minute.
yeah,
Okay, I can do it. I can do it. Okay.
yeah. Even though everybody doesn't. Oh,
Ooh, that
So
happened.
everybody, just so you know,
Oh.
they did an update.
Yeah. Not the best timing for this,
Yeah.
but what we're trying to show at this point, as far as claiming the loot boxes, is like
It won't take.
it's a little bit crazy for a lot of players, and so that's what we're trying to show here. Is that the loot boxes?
Only 180.
That's all.
What's the matter with you?
Open that
Well,
one.
I
wanna see
opened
what you
that one.
got.
See this?
Oh.
That's the reason I don't open them
Oh,
because it's
you're at
just throwing them
capacity.
away.
You
But what
should
Hefe
still-
wants to show is something different because all
You
the
can
loot
move
boxes
over
we
to 'em.
got are at the end, so you have to
go past them and then it goes back to the
You
first
can just
one.
move. You don't have to open them.
you have to exercise the shit out of your mouse and ruin the little micro switch that's in there, resulting in the purchase of a new mouse over a shorter period of time to get to the ones. If you're a hoarder like I am, and end up with like 140 before you get to the first one.
Can you not just click once and hold it down?
No.
No.
It's not that
But
smooth.
if you're
See, I've for this reason have just like claimed them as I've gone purely for this reason. No.
Well, he would still have to click 140
Same
times
amount of
to get
times.
to each
so
one.
here's just
Oh
holding
no,
down.
but it just
Now
seems
we're back to
less.
I'm just holding
It
down.
just seems less sort of, shall we say,
Tedious.
chory.
Less tedious for sure.
But then you
They've
can be
even made the prizes a chore.
you can be industrious and do that.
That's funny.
Do you want to do it one more time, or do it a couple times just
Yeah,
so
I
everybody
can do
realizes?
it. Sure.
Oh yeah, look at that. Back to one. Start over.
Yep, you can start over. But this one here, the other option would be they let this the left one go
backwards.
Yeah, they won't do that. So
yeah,
or they could just do away with them and just automatically deposit the shard in your.
Yeah.
See, and
Just
that's
Kickside selling
another thing.
mouses.
I wanted to know how come they just didn't, randomly select a shard and then
Just
there
show
it
you what
is.
it was.
Because it's not like the mechanics.
Select and then just give it to you. Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
they feel like it's a bigger reward. Oh look, they open a chest and then boom, they get something. They're all going to be so happy.
Yeah,
another
it's
one.
a
Got another
there's a
one.
better
Another Hyper 30.
tactile response or something. But they know how to do it because they used to do it in the
all the other
subsector bases and stuff. I mean, why not just I don't know.
Why not build a smart game?
Why not? Give it a shot.
Well, Mike, we've seen you do this a couple times. We don't have the silence because, if we had the silence the whole time, everybody would realize how boring that was. To just click and click and click. But everybody's talking during the whole thing.
Going through all these fucking chests to me is as tedious a chore as building fucking walls.
Can I say it? Next slide.
Let's build the wall. Let's build the wall.
Let's continue.
Well, I think it's kind of weighted too because he has like 100 of the reinforced chests from the dailies, so it makes it even worse.
I do like the low hanging fruit though. It's good.
Yeah. People are complaining that I put it up too often, but as far as low hanging fruit,
it's the fourth week in a row.
Or send me a better picture of low hanging fruit. I'll use it. But
I'm not sure that Mrs. Earth will appreciate
it. She doesn't watch the show unless she watches it for me. But yeah, whatever.
See him in the background listening and just giving you shit occasionally.
Yeah, I'm used to that.
Could just blur out the naughty parts. Anyway.
Yeah.
Next slide.
So we got next one.
did it. I got it, man.
VXP weekend. Basically, we're gonna get a new skirmish targets. So, I mean, this is going to be messed up for like people that are going to don't have power or internet associated with Hurricane Florence. So it'll be
stop moaning
tricky.
because of where you live.
Maybe they'll have
No,
a special
I
offer.
was bitching before it was about to hit me. To be honest.
Maybe they'll put out a special offer.
It'll be
There's
fine.
a shit ton of them in there now.
Yeah,
You're not going to come to my home anyway because your like, house is encased in beer.
I got to give Kickside a little bit of credit because you remember last year when the hurricane ripped through down there in Florida and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had VXP weekend happening during that hurricane, and then 2 weeks later they came out and gave us an extra VXP weekend.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking for is to have a pop up again.
So they may take that into consideration and do that again.
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea as far as like.
To be fair though, I do believe that they may anyway, purely because they're going to release 2 hulls, which we've been restricted to only having 1. It would be a very nice thing if they did actually give us 2 VXP weekends if they're going to release the other hull in a TLC in the next week or 2.
Yeah, only coiners like you are going to need that, though, because everyone else is going to still be building the first fleet that they chose.
But they gave you a ship.
It's fine. You got a ship. It's fine.
And you got
I mean, let's be honest. You know, building hulls. You can build hulls and then suicide them like Kickside wants you to do. Get them all ranked up. Lovely, lovely. And then you've got 2 weeks to build another set of hulls. Right?
Yeah. Let's move on, Mike.
And they might give you some tokens for that as well.
Oh my god. Time reductions associated with no. Time reductions associated with the introduction of the skirmish cycle. One of the big things to look at is the Zithanite armor D5 CTX, which is a new armor.
Yep,
it's gone from 1 day, 10 hours to 15 hours. And that's the newest armor you're supposed to put on your skirmish hulls. And the other one is D5 EV, a couple below it. 1 day, 10 hours, down to 15 hours. So it's odd because they're making reductions. Not just on the old stuff, but on some of the new stuff.
See, the thing is, though, have they made reductions on it, or have they just gone, well, we'll just put it in at 15 hours and 16 minutes, but we'll advertise it at 1 day, 10 hours?
What?
Well, originally, that's what I'm saying. We'll advertise it as one day, 10 hour build time, even though we're actually going to put it in at 15 hours and 16 minutes anyway.
Tinfoil hat.
Okay. I mean, but yeah, as far as the
Nightmare.
armor builds, some of them are, some of them are old school reductions, and some of them are new stuff. So I feel I like this. I would prefer what they did as far as once they go from tier 5 to tier 6 or tier 6 to tier 7, just reduce all those tiers. Don't make it associated with something like this.
I'll take any build time reductions that they want to do, man. I'm not going to stare a gift horse in the mouth.
But why they're doing them? Because you'll see, Mike, click one more time. These are the specials. The zip drives. What the fuck is going on with the zip drive? Zip drive is a Conqueror Defender special. It has nothing to do with this shit, right?
That has nothing to do with skirmish.
Well, look, if I remember correctly, the way that they do the build times and stuff, they actually have a calculation that they use in-house. And that's how when they did that really big one a couple of years back, that's how come there was a couple of them that didn't make it into the list, and they had to go back in and do it by hand or something like that, or take a look at them individually. And they probably just did the same thing here. That'd be my guess.
Yeah. Okay. Oh shit! How are we gonna get emergency
Weather.
warning again?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's because of the hurricane. I'm sorry.
Time to evacuate, Mr. Hefe.
Yeah, I'm not evacuated, but yeah, that's what they're gonna tell me. But it's all good. But what does everybody else see in here? I mean, it's a whole plethora of just build time reductions. And some of them are cool. I mean, I like some of them, but you know, I need to figure
Yeah,
out.
some of them are good. There's quite a few in there that are pretty good.
What about
Yeah, I mean, I see
I
the
think you know the one set of build reductions that just is still driving me absolutely nuts is why is Magnus Drive 3 so much quicker to build even after the reductions than the old tech?
again, I'm gonna guess it's that calculation. I mean, I'm noticing like some of the stuff that people might use in this raid series. A lot of them in here, like that hydro shells 4. You know, that one had I mean, wasn't a great reduction, but it's still like 5 hours or something there. All the speed systems went down, which sucks because I just was refitting shit into on the speed system 6 on one of my other ones. And some of them, like, I don't know, stealth attack system, you know, I don't know. I did notice the, what was it, countermeasure? One of the countermeasure thingamabobs. The old one, the equipment, countermeasure equipment, that went down a little bit, not too much, which kind of depresses me because that's some really old ass tech. But something's better than nothing. I'll say that much.
I'm looking, I don't see the elite
front line.
countermeasures.
The elite what? Go ahead.
I was looking for elite countermeasure turrets, but
yeah, not on this.
Still, you know, 3.5 years.
I will throw out my idea to fix build time across the board. Okay, here's the way it should be. Whether it's a weapon or it's a special or it's an armor, base it off its tier. If it's tier 1, fucking an hour. If it's tier 7, 7 hours. Make it simple.
Would be nice. Don't think it's going to happen, but it would be nice.
that sounds too much like right.
Well, there's that as well.
Well, it would work because then anytime a new product came out, so if you had tier 8, it would be 8 hours, you know what I mean? Then they'd still get their advanced and build times they want, but it would be more in line with what the player base would be able to handle.
Well, the way it was originally, presented when they went to tier, the next tier that was coming out, everything below it was supposed to shift down, and the new stuff was supposed to keep the same build times, and that didn't happen. So when tier 6 came out, it was supposed to have the tier 5 build times, then all that other stuff below it was supposed to go down. Again, that never happened. One thing I do want to note on here, though, is the frontline countermeasures actually got a decent cut. That was like a 5-hour cut on that one.
Yeah, it was. It's a pretty good cut, really, to be fair.
And the skirmish battery got a 5-hour cut too, I think. I'm trying to find it. There it is. Yeah, that's 4 hours. 4-hour cut.
And that just came out.
Yep.
But again, was it purely designed that way so that they released it and then went, oh,
I mean, in the past when they've done the reductions, they've given us, the reason for it, or at least the nexus of why they're doing it. And this time we didn't. We just were like, "Hey, surprise," which is cool. It's just I kind of wonder what the impetus was to begin this process.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think to be fair, I mean, build times, especially for PvE holes, have been creeping up a bit. And this kind of brings it back in line to where we were with building kind of phoenixes and stuff like that. If you look at it from an overall point of view.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, it's
Mike, you want to go to the next one?
Well, wait a second. That CTX, right? You said that went down by how many hours?
The armor was in the previous. Yeah,
Yeah,
you want to jump back one? You want to jump back one, Mike?
It's like 2.5 hours, I think, isn't it? Just something like that. More
It
than
went down 20 hours.
So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
roughly off of a fleet of 5. You're going to lose 4. You're going to save 4.5 days of build time just off that.
Yeah.
And I think that might be one of the things why they were looking at the armors, because there's a lot of armors. Because those armors take a long time to fit, especially the D5 versions, D5s and D. So that's probably that one I could understand why. The rest of the stuff, I don't know.
But I'm just saying that's going to really reduce. That's going to really take a chunk of build time out of, if you're subtracting 4 to 4.5 days off each hole now.
Yeah, and I think in one of their live streams they had mentioned something along the lines that they were trying to aim for a 15-hour build. I mean, a 15-day build or something like that for each one. And like I was like, mine's over, significantly over 15 days. I mean, it's not at a 15-day mark on the button, but I also have some odd shit on mine. So, I don't know. Maybe that's they're trying to gauge it towards. I've like I said in the past, they've kind of told us what was going on behind. The driving force behind it, but this time we didn't hear anything.
I don't really want to be cynical about it, but I think that they've released something. They've realised that that the player base ain't really that happy about having a 15-day build and then trying to get some ships out before the next raid cycle. And then obviously then having to try and build another fleet as well, possibly if they really want to or whatever. I think that, this is kind of a way of going, yeah, all right, we might have screwed up a bit, but we'll sort that out, but we'll sort out a little bit more. But on the back step, kind of like on the quiet type kind of thing.
You're saying that Kixeye is doing this to placate the community so that they can keep on playing?
No, I don't know.
I think maybe they should have addressed repair times on these.
Yes. Repair times, overall. I mean, the repair times for PvE, either the repair times have to come down or the points requirements have to come down. It's one or the other. Yeah. Either one would work. It's just they gotta pick one and do it. And honestly, I don't really care which one. I just know that when the stuff comes to the map, I better be able to auto it. That auto hull better start working again, because I don't feel like sitting through chores. And I don't even know why the hell we have a blitz target on there, because when they came out with expeditions, they literally said we wanted to give you a blitz type of option without coin. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, like I'd be quite happy for a reasonable cost to coin the new fleet, at least in part, to make sure it's ready for the next raid cycle. But you know what I mean? It's at the minute, with everything that's going on in the game, with like the PvP aspect and things like that, I really just do not feel like it at all. And yeah, but I'm sure we'll get onto that a little bit later.
Yeah, I mean, I did like the fact that they're reducing the build time. For even the new one, the armor, the Thunder Armor D5 CTX, they take it from 1 day 10 hours to 15 hours. So they've been reducing stuff across the board. Not just old stuff, but some of the new stuff. So wait till I mean, I guess once you refresh in the game, you'll see this. So.
All right. So can we move on now, or?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, that'll be 2 up. Oh.
Hey, we just did that.
Yeah. Restrict her neck, because her neck is like 3 miles long, man. I don't know what the heck is. Anyway, go ahead.
They do that in some
She's got lips like you, though, George.
Well, you know, that's why all the girls like to kiss me.
Yeah. Very good. It's all good. All right.
She looks like she's been chugging down on cafe drunk. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. You know.
Click.
Ray of Destruction. I mean, you know, if it was Ray from like, never mind. We don't even get into that. Okay. This is the opportunity to talk about the last rig cycle. The next couple of slides deal with some of the controversial hauls and specials and whatnot afterwards. So this just deals with the raid in general.
They're both. I mean, let's be honest. Both of the hulls are very similar. Well, they're just complete opposites, really, stat wise.
Yeah. There's some issues associated with that. You know, and you know, we were asked to pick between the Bat Ray and the the what are the other one was called, the Split Tail or whatever.
I mean, if we can look at the way that things were described to us, and we can say, look, they've said that obviously both of the hulls are going to do better in one of each of the targets that are going to be available, and you know they're going to be very similar in the opposite targets. Well, that's because they've got the opposite fucking stats, so it kind of makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah, but you try to fix that and make them all, you know, like as an example, you add 50% concussive to something that's lower. How do you deal with that?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, you know, it kind of makes sense. The fact that they were both described as being semi-auto, semi-kind of drivable skill holes. And obviously, if you build both, you're going to do better in both of the targets. And it's quite obvious that if you've got exact opposite stats, that, you know, each are going to kind of overlap at the same rate. As, you know, it's going to be quite equal, isn't it?
Well, here's my concern. Here's my concern with the whole thing, right? If you look at when you got 5 ships in the fleet, you're running 99.9 explosive on the Bat Ray, right? And so for the Bat Ray to take damage from explosives, how high does the actual damage per projectile going to have to be? You see what I mean?
Here's the more important question. I'm sorry. Go ahead. But
so when you flip that around, if you take the Razor Tail into the Bat Ray's thing, where the Razor Tail's running 99.4, well, yeah, it's only 0.6 of a difference. But when you're in those astronomical numbers of damage that they're going to have to do to begin with, just to give you damage, that 0.6 is going to be massive.
Well, no. And here's why. Have you noticed in some targets, it doesn't matter how much deflection you have, you still take damage because they've introduced pass-through in a pretty consistent way over the last several targets that they've been releasing. So
minimum damage.
That minimum damage, it doesn't matter if they're doing 1 damage or 400 damage. As long as they put a pass-through value on that, you're going to take X amount of damage no matter what you do. And that's the way I've been seeing the game develop, even in a PvP aspect with high resistance.
Guaranteed damage.
Yeah, you're going to have the guaranteed damage there. So I get what you're saying. How much damage is it going to have to do? Well, really, that's irregardless. It doesn't matter because they're going to place a value on there that goes through whatever defenses you have, no matter what you put on there. In my opinion.
Yeah, and
See, I thought that until this past raid. But I was able to get, with driving, I was able to get it down to where I could tear my fleet apart in my dock and do it for instant repair.
Were you the missile fleet or the scatter?
I was using missiles.
Well, you were avoiding a lot of the damage types, like the scatter guns and stuff on there. If you were in a scatter situation, you couldn't avoid that, and you would take those minimum damages regardless.
yeah, and then if you look at it, kind of you're going to be in the same position with Bat Ray and obviously the Razor, but the way you got to look at it, I mean, I think I'm right in saying that they said the smart torpedoes were going to be splash damage. I thought they said maybe.
I think that's a true statement.
I said that, but yeah, it's been implied. I think.
Well,
Yeah.
a lot of the other torps have been splash damage, so I would
Yeah.
imagine they would apply that, because then they know they're doing damage to all of your ships, not just one.
So now you've got the Bat Ray then that doesn't have a cav field, which can't raise up the Reapers. But then you have the Razor that does, and you can add, splash reduction to it. However well that will apply, God knows. But, so I'm kind of like a bit. It's really, it's made it. If you were an intelligent player, it's made it quite a hard decision to make. But then again, on another side, not really.
Okay. So, what does everybody think? I mean, I know you're not getting impacted by this Earth, but a lot of people are. As far as I wasn't until recently, but what does Kixeye have any responsibility as far as like players that are trying to do good in the game? And then, like personally, I feel that, Friday's show may not happen, bitches, because it's there's a hurricane coming down on my ass. And I've gone through several hurricanes. But is there, VXP weekend and things like that, you add 400% damage to your hull. That you're going to be using. What do you think? What do you guys think about that? The fact that you can't add that on because you're not able to participate in this.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Hefe, I'm not being funny, but I work at various times. Everybody else works at various other times and everything else, and through no fault of our own, all right, let's just say that, obviously yours is an act of God, but, there's no real difference to the fact that some people can't get on and can't for various other reasons.
No, I'm not talking about, I was working or doing something.
Well, I know.
That's a whole different thing than the whole area has been devastated, and that's the situation that you're dealing with.
Mate, I'm not disrespecting that fact, but at the end of the day, from a business point of view, you kind of got to accept.
Kixeye can't be responsible for acts of God.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm not asking them to do that. If you know what I'm asking for, all I'm asking for, to be honest, is a second VXP weekend.
And like I talked about in the pre-show, though, Hefe, when the hurricane hit Florida last year, Kixeye did do a second VXP weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's why they did it, but I know they did it, and it coincided with that.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
Chance it may happen again.
Also as well, I think that because of the fact that both hulls haven't been released, at the same time, then it might be a good idea to just do it anyway, just for player morale anyway. Never mind any fucking hurricane issues or anything like that. It's just, you know, if you're expecting people to try and coin the holes, they're not going to coin them unless they're fucking going to be able to rank them, are they? Let's be honest. So,
Yeah.
because it's going to be pointless. It's going to be a pointless exercise if you can't rank both holes. So, in which case you need to do 2 VXP weekends anyway, hurricane or not.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not detracting from the fact that, you know, people might get a devastating effect from a hurricane. I'm just saying that, you know,
Nah, I'm not even dealing with that. I'm, you know, because I'm trying to say like, oh, okay, you know, you have a hurricane that may, you know, kill your whole family and do whatever. I'm just talking about the impact it has on your game. So yeah.
Well, and I understand that, mate. I'm just all I'm saying is that there's a far greater reason for them to do it from a business point of view rather than an actual humanitarian point of view.
And you know, if nothing else, and I know that we're not supposed to promote this, and Kicksai frowns on it, but it's gone on for the entire time this game's been going on. Players in your situation, players that are over in South Carolina, North Carolina, all along the coast over there, it's about to get slammed and probably lose power. Well, this game's worldwide. If you got a trusted friend, give them your information, have them run your VXP weekend for you. Don't miss out.
And again, I wouldn't do that personally.
Because that would be against terms of service. So don't do
But
that.
and also, I'm not, you know, I'm not going to let people into my,
You're not going to let people play with your junk, although you want
I don't want people to have my personal information and whatnot. Right. Yeah, that's not something that's going to happen with me. I would rather not play the game than, you know, have all these people, you know, have all my information, my credit cards, whatnot. Yeah, don't do that personally.
I think David would play with your junk, though.
I'm not asking for somebody to play with my junk. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, if you don't ask, how is it going to happen?
Right, he'd play with your junk as well.
Yes, again, we should stop having this conversation.
What are you talking about your junk?
You start.
Are you embarrassed, Hefe?
Special Friday show about Hefe's junk.
No, I've been doing that. But again, it appears that Kickside no longer wants to have that conversation about my junk. Yeah. I mean, it's been long.
I don't want to talk about
your. To be fair, Hefe, let's be honest. Really, like 99.9999999% of.
Leave him 99.999. Okay, so go ahead.
Don't want to play with your junk. Let's be fair.
I feel like this is a long conversation for a short subject.
It feels like a Friday show that we're having on a Wednesday.
Well, Hefe has junk pass through, so he has minimum junk, damage. So.
Yeah, it's a very short subject. You're right, very right there.
Oh, ouch!
So why are we still talking about it?
I know.
I'm not even sure what's going on.
Let's talk about its anti-torpedo ECM. It does stuff. Okay, that was good.
Very well done there. Are you going to explain it now?
Basically, my understanding of it is that there's an aura, which is 130 range, and as torpedoes are shot at you, the torpedoes take damage. Now, based on the amount of damage or amount of health, like a ship that the torpedo has, you may or may not be able to chew up the entire torpedo before it hits you. Not
very
sure.
Good explanation. Better explanation than what Wrong Thinker gave.
Well, you see, it's concussive damage that the field does. So odds are we were talking about earlier about using your hydrodynamic shells and explosive. I don't think you're going to do much to them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that, and then does a partially dead torpedo do partially damage, or does it still deliver its entire?
That's a good question.
Partial minimum
entire
damage.
load. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it's
Partial pass-through damage.
very
I bet it's a full load.
Yeah, I bet it shoots its full load no matter.
I'm not even sure what a full load is. Let's move on to the next slide.
Actually, I would like to make one more statement about.
What's the matter, Hefe? You want to talk about? You
I
don't
want
want
to
to
make one
talk
more
about?
statement about the aura. That information out of Kids guys listening, I would really like you guys to give us. I would like to know the splash range.
John Smith, trust me, I'm a girl. Let's move on to the next slide.
Did you even listen to what I was asking?
I did.
No.
I heard you.
No,
You
they
know
paid
the
attention.
splash range.
John Smith said, trust me, I'm a girl. Does not work for me. But let's move on to the next after the bat right.
Give us a splash radius on the smart torpedoes, because if they get too close to the ships, we're going to start getting damage.
Yeah,
Okay.
is there a way to avoid them, or are they going to be, doesn't matter,
Exactly. That's what I would like to know.
I seriously
All right.
don't want to know the splash radius on Hefe's junk.
I don't care about half-face junk.
Whatever. Everybody seems to talk about it. Mike, let's go on to the next slide.
I did click once.
Click it again.
I'm going to take your slides away.
You're talking about the cargo. It's got
click
crap
to the next slide.
Crap for holding, and it repairs in 4.5 freaking hours.
Have I not been talking about this? Okay.
It carries no cargo, and it takes forever to repair.
Awesome.
Also.
All right. Critical velocities.
Okay.
Fired at critical velocities. Fired at... Well, I don't see anywhere on the print where it actually increases the projectile speed or anything of that nature. So it just fires them at normal velocities.
Well,
it
it's
does extra damage.
It's critical.
Yeah, it does critical hit. More damage, but I don't know.
They
use velocities, and they should have said.
The one reason I put this up there is that people think that critical damage is. I mean, George, you still there?
Hell yeah, I'm here. Wait.
It's not like George at all. Jesus Christ.
Try though.
That was the worst George impression ever.
Well, that's not what I get paid for, so.
Yeah. I doubt you get paid for that.
Yeah, no, that would definitely be.
If anybody's actually wondering where George has gone, George has run off to go and try and get to Hefe's to play with his junk.
Yeah, we know. Now the question I got about this special, is real simple: is this damn thing gonna fucking work? Because the last time we had a critical damage special like this for our fleet, it was junk and had no use at all.
Speaking of junk.
Well, the reason I brought it up is because a lot of people think that if you see plus, like in this example, plus 125. That the plus 100 is just the original critical. But it doesn't appear to be that way. And people keep on talking about it, and that's the way it works. And that's why I put this slide out there, because, this is a slide from last week. So does it work that way? I mean, I don't think it works that way.
Usually it's just the plus 25 bit on top of it.
Usually, but I don't know. This part of as far as like how critical damage works that's tricky. I mean, I'm not sure that it works that way. I don't want to really get in trouble either way associated with that.
Yeah, I would assume. I know that assume makes an ass out of me and you, but
okay.
Well, leave me out of
you and me, whichever way you want to look at it. But the 25% thing is kind of being,
Okay, let's move on to
That's
the next
good.
one. If we don't have an answer. And George is fucking sleeping. Go ahead.
See, I prefer this over the other one.
Okay.
I just do.
I got this one.
Yeah, so did I. So, but I just prefer it. I just think it's more
Sexy.
Streamlined.
smaller.
Okay.
More better.
More better. You know,
More better.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
All right, let's move on after we got the information that's more better.
Oh,
All right,
new
this
rocket.
is the one that's interesting. I mean, because people have been talking about the fact this weapon is
different to any other weapon in the game because it has
well,
splash that
that
does
I
the
was
same through the
comparable
whole.
to. Go ahead. You can keep on talking, or I can.
Sorry, no. So yeah, the basic thing about this is that rather than having depletive splash from the center of the impact point to the outside, it's got the exact same damage across the entire splash range.
Yes.
So,
yeah, and that's a big issue. That's the issue I brought up a couple of nights ago, as far as how this works, as far as there's no depletion of stats associated with the, where it actually fires and where it actually hits. This is, it's sort of cool. It's sort of whatever. I'm not exactly sure how to put it.
So basically, the way that it's been put by Kicksite is that if you compare this weapon, which is very similar to the Twin-Fire rocket, the Twin-Fire rocket as the splash radius sort of extrudes itself. So, when you chuck a stone into a pond and you get that radius out, the basic thing about it is that on the outside of the ring, at the maximum radius, it's 75% of the damage, whereas this one is 100% of the damage. So you get 100% of the damage all the way through, whereas on the outside with any other weapon, you'd get 75 max.
I am personally at this point, I'm just confused by Loretta throwing out that his medieval cod sack. I mean, exactly what is a cod sack? You could explain, Laredo, at some point in time what a cod sack is.
I think
but
it's
I'm
something
not certain
nasty.
what it is. What?
I think it's something nasty.
I don't think so. But yeah, I'm not sure what a cod sack is.
It's like a cod piece, but sack form.
I'm not certain.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, he should explain at some point.
I think it's going back to your junk somehow.
I think he was referring to my wife.
Oh,
ouch!
What did I just say?
It's something nasty. Yeah.
Is it? I don't know. I've never heard that term before.
Well, I mean, I would just assume, given a cod piece is
it
covering
kind of
for your giblets.
It's kind of a scrotum cover, if you will.
I thought a cod piece was what you got from
which definition you want to go with.
No, that's fried cod.
Oh, that's a piece of cod. Oh,
Yes.
my bad. Okay.
It's the middle of your
I've got the definition
Urban Dictionary.
right here if anybody wants it.
Just
feel like
link it
we're-
in the chat.
I feel like we're really doing a lot of good work here. Yeah, really.
When building a tailor a harness,
Really helping the community.
I like this
cod
rocket.
sacks.
I'm actually I feel like there could be applications for this outside of PvE to some degree. So I think it's pretty nice, and I like the fact that it doesn't diminish the splash, because with the spread that it's got, the range, and then 17 is pretty close to
yeah, it's pretty good.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's a pretty good
from a
little
PvP point of view, it
Versus
is.
fleets, yeah.
However, we'll have to see
Wouldn't
what they
hit a
do
building
with
with
the PvP refactor as to whether or not they're going to try and lock out weapons and stuff. And
Well, sometimes people
Yeah.
like to take out the ships first. So,
well, agreed. I'm very much in your frame of mind there.
so anyway, moving on. Maybe. I don't
But
know.
that
He
weapon
didn't
is
say
restricted to skirmish class only, so
so. Oh, is it? Well,
yeah.
then, that's stupid. I hate you, Kixeye. Never mind everything I just said.
Yeah,
problem solved.
yeah,
All
that
right.
sucks.
We've got this thing. What is this?
Junk.
That's
Aftermath.
Alfred and his little kids.
Can we not go on about heavy junk again, please?
Okay.
That means we should.
Well, the show's over, folks.
Shows
We
it.
don't want to talk about the aftermath. So
Post.
after they did the math, they found out that this doesn't work. So
999 aura cap.
that's impressive.
It is.
Um,
Sign of the beast.
yeah, it's got a good range. Damage is
It's my favorite kind of damage.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, damage is shite. Range
Yeah,
is
and
good.
with all the turrets that we have now too, it's like looking at all the different damage types and everything else. I mean, I really would like to see what the plan is for the revamp, because it's a freaking mess.
Yeah, it's meh. Because
the
like
only
really the only
redeemable thing
turret
is
that's
the
actually
minimum.
doing any damage now is the cryo adder.
Really, the only upside to this thing that I can see really is the minimum damage is 120, or minimum range is 125.
yep.
Yeah.
Gotta be good for people running one spotter.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you kill one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, with our minimum pass-throughs ourselves, I mean, well, fun times.
Heard. All right.
Moving along.
Holy man.
Radioactive scope.
It's like a night
I
vision camera.
have one of those for. Okay, go ahead.
It also spots deer in its off time.
Let's say I have one of those on
Off
my
season.
deck.
Yeah.
DECK.
Yeah, it gives you radioactive range 9%. So now I guess this would work on the thrower, or
Yep.
your whatever the
Launchers,
infrared
yeah.
launchers, all that stuff will get an additional range bonus now. So
Another in the line, and then this leads to going, well, the next OP level is going to come out at some point, right? And then are we getting more land, because we keep on seeing ranges keep creeping up here? So
yeah, land and footprint.
Lovely. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, not much to talk about here.
Okay. Oh.
Ooh, the new armor we've all been waiting for.
Or the armor that we have actually not been waiting for, and
Or the armor that we get.
yeah,
So
they're the shite.
I mean, it's got impressive deflection values for the deflection values that it gives. I think we probably need even another armor in order to
Round it out.
to have a base, to actually make basers. There's ways to make your base where 90, how many ships do we have? All but one of them pretty much can't hit a base still, even with this armor. So
Yeah, basically, because the only turret that's stopping all of the other ships is the cryo adder, which is kind of what we thought we might get an armor against, and this isn't it.
what you get for
So,
thinking.
yeah, so I mean, it's all right. Yeah, it's a nice addition to our arsenal, if you like, but again, it's only relevant for one ship out of the 5. So
It's
you know,
definitely lacking some goodness.
and at the end of the day, as well, I just don't feel this whole kind of like Voltron thing with, you know, out of all of the damage types, we're gonna release one that's good against each of them, and or I just don't feel it. It's not right. It doesn't work. It's not right for the game. It's all right. It might be viable in different other games, but it's just not viable in the way that BP is, and the way that BP is actually played. And it's yeah, I just
Yeah, on paper, the Voltron idea sounds great and stuff, but then, you know, in practice, it's just not. It's there's no doing it like this is, you know, one of two things happens. Either you end up having to have like 12 different fleets to hit each type of base that you come across, or alternatively, you just don't hit shit because you're like, fuck, I ain't building all that crap. I mean, you can't have damage types precluded completely and this and that. I mean, that's just not how this. It's not a good avenue
even
for PvP here.
No, and even towards the end of it, when you've got all of the parts of the puzzle, you know, if you've managed, for example, if you've just missed a couple of raids or something, or you've missed a bounty or two, and you've not got all of the parts of the puzzle, you're completely screwed and you can't hit anything. It's just, yeah, it's a crap way of doing it. It doesn't work. It never will work in this game. It's just rubbish, really.
Brings me back to my original suggestion for fixing PvP is aura-based deflection modules. That would be more. That would actually balance things out to a degree.
I mean, the thing is, they can balance. It's, you know, this is all deflection stuff.
With the armors, but
yeah, I mean, deflection. Look, what they've got to do is get to a point where it's like they have to understand that all turrets have got to be able to do damage standalone, right? And it's a battle going. I mean, the easiest way to do this is go find Desktop Defender, play that for a little bit. That's the basis of base hitting in Battle Pirates, right? That was Paul Priest's game before Battle Pirates. They kind of took that idea and applied it to base hitting, right? That was the whole concept. You can't have, you know, I don't know how to explain it. The tuning of PvP should be easier using deflections, because deflections are a set value. You don't compound the stuff like you do with resistances.
Agreed.
So,
yeah.
It should be easier to tune that way. The problem is they took that, instead of just tuning it and tuning PvP, they went to the point where, they kind of went to the point where they're going to go, okay, we're going to preclude damage types from this. We're going to, this is going to be immune to explosive damage. That's no. I mean, it might be good against explosive. That's great, but don't ever preclude a damage type that way. That's just not, you know, I don't know.
It was an interesting concept, and a great concept, but in the way that Battle Pirates works, and the way that in the way that the game works, and the way that content is released, it just doesn't work, and it's never going to work. No matter how hard you try, it's never going to work.
Well, no, because the only way deflection like this is going to work is if they release everything in one lump sum and let everybody build.
But even then,
this is what me and George are trying to say. You know, at the end of the day, it should be easier to actually balance everything out using deflection.
Yeah.
However, because they're adding unnecessary complications into it by trying to make things
the Voltron idea
strategic, and using the Voltron idea, it just doesn't work. And in theory, in principle, great idea, but it just in practice is not right for the game, and it will never be working, and it will never work ever.
But see, it would have worked. It would have worked if back when this started at the beginning of the year, when we started with tier 7 tech, right? If they had have dumped everything, here's all the ships, here's all the armors, here's all the turrets, and you build
But
toward
then what are they going to do for a year?
No. Look, it wouldn't have worked even if they dumped everything because the idea behind it is flawed. Because the way that you have to
Yeah.
attack a base, you're going to expose yourself at one point or another to that damage type that you're weak to, no matter what. And the way that they did the tuning for the numbers, it just doesn't make it a viable way to do it. And then the other side thing to that is if you build like that, if you tune like that to that whole Voltron idea, you're going to end up doing a couple of, like, one of two things is going to happen. Either, you're not going to do PvP, or you're going to have a ton of different base fleets because you have to be able to attack each type of base based on the
For
damage that you
example, I
find in
mean,
that base.
I have every single base fleet built out, and until the corrosive turrets come out, all of them were built out so that they could resist pretty much everything other than pass-through damage. As soon as the the corrosive turret come out, the cryo-radar, completely and utterly useless. Now I'm then forced to use the witch doctor in order to negate that damage, and then having to send like a single ship in to take out various turrets to enable me to then go in. However, you've got all of the other turrets firing at that ship, and you can't do that.
So I mean, the thing is, there are a couple of things you could potentially build just a few hulls out, and that way you can kind of tune your build or tune your baser to the type
It doesn't work that way though, George.
No, I understand, but what I'm saying is in theory, I'm going back to the theory behind the Voltron thing.
Yeah.
Even if you have everything built out and you kind of have something where you can mix and match so you can go in and hit the bases, the problem is in order to do that, you need more than 5 minutes to hit a base. And that's not going to happen.
You need like 5 or 6 hits in order to actually do it properly if you're going to use that kind of way of hitting, if you like. And even then, you'll be very lucky in a lot of instances to even get in because of the mix of damage types and the fact that you can't protect against everything. So,
personally, I think you need to go back. I think you need to go back a ways where back in the day, you would look at a base, you would take a screenshot, and then now we need to figure out, okay, how many of these targets do they have? I mean, it's really complicated to hit a base at this point. I mean, unless they're just idiots.
It's not even the fact that it's complicated.
Unless they're idiots. Well, what I'm saying, as far as
even the fact that
the stacking portion of this makes it complicated for players that want to hit a base.
It does make it complicated, but even for people who are quite well versed in it, it just doesn't work because it just clearly doesn't work. Because you know,
explain why, but yeah,
we've explained why, because you need a certain ship in order to take out a certain turret, but you also need it to be a shield for your other ships in order to get to that turret, and it doesn't work because everything's going to take out that ship before that you're using as a turret, as a shield before you get to that turret. Otherwise, you've got to just constantly either build new crap and everything is completely obsolete after they release new stuff. It doesn't work. It's ridiculous. All right, great in concept, but just in
it's not even great in concept.
It just doesn't work.
Do you mind if I take Padre? What do you think about the current situation as far as hitting bases? What is your thought on this?
I mean, on a decent base, you can't hit it right now, and a clever player will be, even with this new armor, you still won't be hitting that base.
Well, exactly, and for what reason? Is it the same reason as what I've just said, Padre?
Yeah, no, I mean, the way they've set it up does not work. Can it be made to work to a degree? Yes. Is it going to remain fun and entertaining the way they've got it? No, it's not. I was just thinking randomly. I wonder how much actual playtime we've had this year for PvP, and how much actual downtime where bases have been unbreakable.
Well, I know that.
Man, it's a downtime's been a lot. I mean, I was just
I'd say
talking
at
about
least
this
2 months or more of actual all the way downtime.
more.
Yeah, I think probably.
And I find that really amusing. The fact that PvP is supposed to be part of the game, but they just said
Keep
no for a long
ruining
time.
it. They didn't say no. They said oops.
Well, they sort of said no at the same time, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. But yeah, they eliminated that from
They've kind of screwed the pooch, and they've screwed themselves over with it as well. And like, I mean, I didn't even bother with the last bounty because what was the point? Really, I didn't have the time to grind out targets. I couldn't hit actual bases because I didn't have witch doctors built, and even if I did, bases that were actually worth anything to me I wouldn't have been able to get into because the balance is completely out of whack. And it's just I don't know. I mean, and this armor doesn't really do anything to change that because all right, it's fine for people, witch doctors and stuff like that. But anybody else who missed out on getting a witch doctor and or hasn't been able to get it, this just really isn't any help to them because all it takes is one cryo adder turret, and they're completely and utterly screwed. This is what I mean by the whole aspect of it is it's all very good in principle, but it just in reality does not work whatsoever.
I agree.
Okay.
And the thing is with them not fixing it, we're still going to probably have bounty again next week.
And I won't be doing that again either because I just can't be bothered with it. I'll be perfectly honest.
Tedious. It's not fun. It's not what it was supposed to be. It's just a freaking chore fest, and it needs to either be abolished or fixed. And they're not going to fix it, so it just needs to be done away with.
Well, just put it this way. At the end of the day, if you're gonna continue to screw things over in PvP, and then people who actually want to play PvP need to get the tech from Bounty, but don't actually want to play Bounty.
Well, it's not a PvP event
Bounty
anymore.
because
You're essentially
complete and utter screw up. You're just completely killing off one of your revenue streams.
Yeah, I mean, and the problem with making bounty a PvE event that you're grinding away for, I mean, you just kind of, the point of bounty was to let the PvP players get their stuff and get ahead, and participate in PvP themselves, right? And you've kind of caught yourself in a catch-22 where you're like, okay, we've made it into a PvE event, which is what PvP players kind of not really are not thrilled about, and in order for them to participate in the part of the game that they want to, they're now forced to participate in 2 PvE events a month.
Yeah, but the thing is though as well, George, I'm not being funny. I mean, I'm predominantly PvP player, right? And I'm now in a position where, because of the fact that they've put me in this position where because I've got limited time and stuff like that, and I haven't been able to get certain things built, and because of the effect that all of their plans have put into the game, I literally didn't even bother doing bounty last time purely because I knew I didn't have the time to get what I wanted or stroke needed, so I didn't bother whatsoever, and literally didn't bother at all to do
Get the hull either.
I mean, yeah, I was
specials and turrets and called it
me
a day.
too. It's been this is the first time in a while that I did not get the hull. I didn't get the hull this last the last bounty because it's fuck. I mean,
they'll offer it again. It's pointless for the time being. I mean,
well, exactly.
you know,
So what's the point in doing it? You know, it's just kind of you're just shooting yourself in the foot by continuing down this route of it's a failed system. Just put your hands up and go. Look, we know it's all screwed up.
Well,
which they have.
You can see them trying to dump it so that they can get through this debacle and get to something else. I mean, I think that's part of the strategy.
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see it when it happens, but at least
I agree with that. I just hope that they don't carry on down the same route because this just doesn't work. The whole system now with PvP does not work. Voltron fact it's just bollocks. It just doesn't work in this game. And I can see where they're coming from, and yes, as a concept, great idea, but it's just like it's not really, 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 really doesn't work for many of the issues that we've outlined, and the fact that because of that, people who predominantly play PvP, which they're trying to get people to actually do, are going, no, not doing that, purely because of the fact that the positions that they're put in. So,
I mean, the fact that they keep on running bounty the way that it is, I think has actually done away with every bit of PvP curious that they were trying to elicit through bounty in the first place. I mean, they've essentially just negated a year's worth of work by allowing bounty to continue the way that it is.
I agree with that as well. There was the aspect of the the pandering to the PvE players as well, but I think a lot of it as well, especially in the last couple of months, and especially in last month and coming up now as well, is going to be the case of people that have worked hard all the way through the series of bounties, however, haven't managed to get, for instance, the witch doctor for whatever reason. They may have been working, they may have been away, they may have had a hurricane or whatever, blah blah blah, typhoon, whatever. For them now, for the next, if it's going to carry on in the same format that it is next month, they're going to be in the same boat. You either grind it out and spend 100 hours grinding out shitty little fucking PvE targets, or you don't get shit. And
but I think
what people going to do? They're going to go, no, I'm not going to spend 100 hours, or I can't spend 100 hours, so I'm not even going to bother.
Yeah, no, I can't. I mean, the bigger concern that I have though is the fact that they've ruined what little, like, they were trying to get people into PvP, and bounty was
I agree. I agree with that.
On the way in a good way, but now they've done, like, the way that they've had it set up and the way that they continue to allow it to play without adjusting it at all for the situation has just ruined everything that they've worked for. They've ruined a year's worth of work.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's just, they just got to stop. They've got to do something about bounty.
Yeah.
But anyway.
At this point, I think it just needs to go.
Yeah, I would agree. I'd say drop it for now until they fix PvP. Do we have any more slides?
Hidden
depths.
I think we got one more.
A 3-day class.
The only reason to do that one is this right here.
Yeah, this is why you would do it. It's not for prize pack 1, 2, or 3, but prize pack 4, you get a 3 times 1 as far as skirmish goes.
So that's
sexy, right?
Pretty much.
Has anyone done the Hunter games to find out if that skirmish chest is dropping just Hunter tokens or if it's dropping skirmish tokens now?
No, but
I think I hovered over it and it just said skirmish tokens, or Hunter tokens.
Oh, well,
just like last time. We'll have to
oh yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. It says Hunter and Hunter.
Yeah.
Yep. Damn it.
So.
Or I'd have those in my stash.
Yep.
Anyhow, do
Apparently
this.
the
Get
new-
3 days worth of build.
Yeah. Apparently the new weapons go pretty well with the hunters. Well, not the hunters, the prototypes.
Oh, cool.
So that's something
Interesting.
to consider.
Is that the rockets or the?
No,
The bat rays. Yeah.
the one that goes with the bat ray goes pretty well with the prototype. Apparently, it does.
Well, that's not very good because I took the razor toe.
Well, I did too, so don't feel bad. I'm just saying.
Me
Next time
three.
when they offer it again, it's something to keep in mind if you have any skirmish tokens that might be a nice little refit. To one-shot pop anything SSRB related.
I'm kind of curious to know
but you
what's going to
have to,
happen with the SSRB now, because they came out and said that the protos are essentially stillborn. So what are the plans with the SSRB? Because originally we were supposed to do the 4 corners, and then the center was supposed to be open and available for us. And now it's.
And I thought as well that the Proto Apollo was supposed to be out last raid, but obviously wasn't. Wasn't next
They should
raid.
just open all 4 corners. Let us hit them. Open the center, and you can get shards for your new mega. Because they do this.
I mean, look, we know that they already have a Reaver Mega. I mean, from what, 2 years ago now, that's sitting there. Originally, the Drac bases, we were supposed to get that
I'm
orange
building my
to
Reaver
red
Mega.
to the red, what do you call it, sector bar, right? And that's never happened. So, I mean, how many times are we going to start down a path and then just not get there?
Well,
Many.
Yeah. To be fair, I mean, I don't blame him because, like, let's be honest, Mega Combat nobody really cares about. I mean, it's a token generator in my eyes. That's all it is. Right? There's a few people. I mean, like, there's probably 2 in my alliance that actually go out and physically go and hit people to get parts to build their megas up. And that's about it.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, I don't. That's not. I'm more. I'm more mean. They start down a path, and the community tells them, "Hey, this is not a cool path," right? And repeatedly, they repeat the same mistakes, like they're doing now. I mean, we went back to 3-month raid cycle, two hulls a raid cycle. I mean, what the hell? Why are we back here?
Yeah.
Why are we back here?
The whole point of us going to a 3-month raid cycle was that we were only going to have to build 1 hull, or was it not? I do believe those were the words. Sorry, we'll drop it to a 3-month raid cycle, but you're going to have to build 1 hull. So, but there we go. Right. Anyway, I'm going to call it a night, gentlemen.
Whoa.
Yeah, 7:40. Yeah, it's late for you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have a good night.
there you go.
Have a good one, Earth.
Enjoy
For the end
Hefe.
slides, for the end of slides. For this is from the, I guess, does anybody
Space
know what
station.
this? Yeah, space station. As far as Florence coming to take care of George. George has been,
The solar panels kind of gave it away on each side, dude. I'm just saying.
Well, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty. It's a good picture. But yeah, this is, it's
Proof that
problematic.
the world is flat, right? Yeah, that's what we're going with this. Sure.
No, Jesus Christ.
I've run my hand across the computer screen and it's completely flat.
Completely.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. SDS7. World is flat. That's what all we're getting out of this, right?
We're all flat. Everyone's flat.
Wow. Yeah. Not your wife, though, right?
She an SDS7?
Depends on which way you lays her.
She
sorry,
lays
yeah.
flat sometimes, but
Okay. All right.
we're on a point.
No, I thought this was an interesting picture. So
It is.
Oh my lord! Did someone just say fisheye lens to make the Earth look round? Really?
Yeah.
Come
Well, that's
on.
a trick that NASA commonly employs.
Mm-hmm.
To what now?
Oh, man.
Fish Island, in order to make the appearance of a spherical planet.
You didn't know that's what they do?
That and between that and green screens, they can show you anything. Even Buzz Aldrin admitted they didn't go there.
Yeah, the world is flat. I mean,
I trust
there's
the
no two ways
90-year-old.
about that.
Yeah, no, there's only one way about it.
Mm-hmm.
If the world's flat, though, you know, the thing that doesn't make sense to me, if the world's flat with all the technology we have, how come we've never found the edge?
Oh, NASA protects the edge because it's like, hold on, I gotta remember what the hell what do they say?
The government.
It's a big ice wall. Yeah, the government doesn't want you going there. That's what
Yeah,
it is.
You can't get to it because you'll get arrested long before you get there, and if you actually make it, you're never going to be seen again.
I mean, we'll throw all physics and everything out the window because I mean,
Physics is just green screens and fisheye lenses.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just showing this as far as like it's really an interesting picture.
It's probably just a zoomed in picture of a cotton swab anyway. Jesus.
That's a possibility as well.
But,
Hey, don't give the snowflakes any more ideas.
I don't know, man. I don't know
It's
if flat
carbon.
earthers are snowflakes.
Yeah, I don't know about that. There is that guy that tried to shoot himself up on that rocket and crap too. I was like, man.
Snowflakes have higher IQs.
All right. So, okay.
What a productive. So, what did we learn tonight? Let's recap. We'll start with junk. No, wait. We'll go to the bat ray weapon. I didn't get this. So, cool.
Well, there you go. Neither did I, by the way. It's a ripsaw, though.
Yep, haven't got it yet. I'll get it soon.
You know, the thing that irritated me about the weapons, and in case anybody didn't notice, the Gatling gun is not locked. You can put that on any hole, but the rocket is locked.
It is locked. Yeah, that is interesting. So if you look at your depth charges and you see this one, which is locked on mine, it does 18,000 damage, which is 3,000 damage more than the Narwood 2. Garwood. Nar.
Narwood 2?
I think it's
He's thinking of a narwhal.
Guar. The Guarwood 2.
Narwood.
Thinking of a
Yep, sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, it does 3,000 more damage. So again, on something like a Tide, once it gets wound up, by wound up I mean once you get that blood, it becomes pretty significant, even having a small damage discrepancy.
Is there a big weight discrepancy? I can't look.
You're looking at 950 tons.
I mean,
versus
where the
750.
fatties are, that's a whole different issue. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the difference, it's 300 tons different.
Okay.
So it does change. I'm trying to look. I'm pulling up my my proto right now to see for weight.
What?
I was just trying to see how much weight my my proto had left, but I've got something in the shipyard, so I can't even view that unless there's somewhere else I can see it. That's, but I can't.
Can't you? No.
Nope, we're waiting on Hefe to make a new shipbuilder, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do something. All right.
Next one.
What? Oh, Razor Tail special.
I got this.
That's an interesting weather alert.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, here's the Razor Tail special. I'm not sure.
Wave Rider.
I did get that one.
Yes.
Gives decent splash, decent little damage boost.
Why are there two different copies of this?
What do you mean?
One's R15.
We
One's
just, yeah.
Ah, okay.
One's what?
R15. One's not.
Ah. Oh yeah, look at that. There's a difference.
Yeah. We
Significant difference.
Wait a minute, this new special needs to be ranked?
Retrofitted, not ranked.
Or retro, yeah. It
Yeah,
does.
you know,
The
I was
stuff on
already at R15. You know, some people might be at R16, but
Is
that's
that
Oh,
under
that's
a
why it doesn't
weapon?
show up that way.
R16 or bust, baby.
yeah, that's the way to go.
Hold on,
Okay.
I gotta check my
Retro.
retros because I don't do those either.
Mm.
Oh look,
But as you see, you'll see plus 15% on splash, and you'll see plus 30% on explosive damage as you rank them up. So, all good, right?
Yep.
Yes.
I just started retrofitting. I'm going to 1.
Okay. And it gets upgraded
What
through
group?
mortar systems.
What grouping is it in?
Mortar
Depth
systems?
charges.
No, Jesus Christ. Mortar systems.
Oh, mortar systems, I mean.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we should probably end this for the evening. In case anybody would like to, unless, oh my God, that's a wall of text that I did create. But yeah, whatever. In case anybody would like to join the show, or does anybody want
Well,
them
the
to
after
join the
show
show?
anyway.
Yeah.
The after show. I mean, the show's over, so it can't join the show now. I mean, unless they jump in now, you can join the show now. Jump in now.
Holy cow, mortar systems are 15. I'm awesome. I just want to say it's very rare for me to have something ranked. I don't really do that.
Retro.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna end the show. And yeah, short range turrets,
There's
long
some
range
turrets, though.
turrets.
There's some turns that
Oh,
Yeah,
we
there's
didn't go
some
over all the
turrets that
turrets?
are all up there, but you know, I don't know. Personally, I'm whatever. So I'm
Whatever.
probably
you don't want
gonna
to talk
end.
about this one.
This one is kind of interesting just because of the chain range of
Yeah,
160 on it.
I mean, I had Magic Mike hit
I actually have a video
a
of
friend
it.
of mine. Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen it work. It does do a good job of chaining.
yeah.
So you got to watch your sloths or build them a little differently.
Yeah, that was fun as far as what went on there. Do you think, Mike?
Yeah, enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Especially the way that sloth went away. Like,
But how many
guys
would
see
you
it,
guys want to buy as far as with the prizes?
I got all the turrets. You never
did too.
know.
I have strategically located one of these in my base.
Okay. All right. All right. Well,
Let's see what else we got.
we may be around on Friday.
Depending
I'm
on
not
the
certain.
weather.
Well, depending on the weather, yeah. I mean,
I
you know,
won't.
you won't.
Regardless of the weather, unfortunately. Yeah, we're doing home inspections on my new house. So
Oh my goodness, you know.
hopefully we can get a little more money out of them.
Yeah, the home inspection. Yeah, we may talk about that, but yeah, the home is because my sister. I don't know. There's all sorts of things going on.
Yeah, after show. That's after show stuff.
After show. End of slide. Congratulations, Pirates.
Okay.
Yay!
Thank you for
We
showing
made it.
up.
We made it.
Yeah. We made it.
You
Good show.
made it. You made it
Stayed on
despite.
focus. There were no deviations from crucial information, and I'm going to say success. Mission accomplished.
Okay. Despite what Hefe did, it all worked out well. He is the one that caused all the problems. So, it's all good.
Because of the junk. You threw the junk up there.
Yeah. Well, whatever. So, I'm going to stop the broadcast, and I will link out there one last time. If anybody'd like to join the after show,
Good night,
and we'll
everybody.
leave it at that.
Yep. I expect to see Laredo in here. Have a good night, everybody.
Not all.
Mm.